Alright, we're about to finish joining the Matrix damn it, we'll do that again. Alright, we're about to finish joining the Matrix Reloaded and the Matrix Revolutions into one film. Let's do this. So, we left off actually bringing the two movies together seamlessly and talking about cutting the Neo coma subplot. In doing that, we'll be cutting out Neo's final visit with the Oracle, which actually wouldn't be bad for the story. I mean, after the Architect reveals to Neo the true nature of the Oracle, and after Neo tries to relay this information to Morpheus, Neo's journey becomes more like a classic hero's journey once the Oracle, who we could label as Neo's mentor, essentially dies in the mind of our hero. She's no longer someone he can trust. So, why would Neo visit her again, or even believe anything else she says? Since Neo began as someone who doesn't believe in destiny or fate...
Do you believe in fate, Neo?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
Before the Oracle convinced him that fate is a real thing...
Don't worry about it. As soon as you step outside that door, you'll start feeling better. You'll remember you don't believe in any of this fate crap. You're in control of your own life. Remember?
It would add to Neo's decision of how to save Zion if Neo returned to not believing that he wasn't in control of his destiny, while at the same time holding on to his character growth as the one, the person who will save Zion. And we can cut out the remainder of the Oracle's scenes from Revolutions simply because we really don't need to see Smith taking over the Oracle's body. We didn't see Smith taking over the Merovingian's body, so it's okay to simply show, by the end, that Smith has taken over everyone in the Matrix. We saw it happen in full once.
Look, Smith will suffice. Thank you.
And we saw it about to happen again.
If you can't beat us, join us.
With other Smiths around. So, once we see all the Smiths at the end, and no one else, then we already know what Smith has done inside the Matrix. On a side note, one of the reasons I want to cut the Oracle completely out of Revolutions is because of the casting change. The original actress unfortunately passed away during filming, so a new Oracle had to be cast. For the sake of consistency, I want to stay with the original Oracle and leave it at that. And the story really allows for that. Like I said, once the Architect reveals that she's another mechanism for control, and Neo begins not to trust her anymore, her part of the story is essentially over, with Neo having to complete the journey on his own, without any further help from the Oracle. Plus, without the Neo coma subplot, the humans don't return to the Oracle again, and the story embraces a real sense of uncertainty. Like the fate of Zion is no longer known, and there's no one who the humans can turn to for answers. They're really on their own. At the same time, though, we're also able to uphold the hope that some humans have in Neo, because it's been established that Neo's abilities extend far beyond what an average human can do. It's as Niobe eventually comes to say.
I believe in him.
One more thing we should do in this re-edit, though, is intercut the attack on Zion with Neo's mission to the Machine City. One reason we need to weave the plots together a bit better is so that we don't lose track of characters. While we're watching the defense of Zion, we don't want to lose Neo and Trinity, but that's exactly what happens in the original cut of the Matrix Revolutions. The machine assault on Zion goes on for so long that the film begins to lose the feel of what it is, which is a Matrix movie. So, rather than using a large chunk of time on the attack on Zion before going back to Neo and Trinity on their mission, we'll cut to Neo and Trinity before we lose their part in the overall story, so that we stay grounded in what we're watching and are not taken too far off the path. This is a major mistake in the editing of Revolutions. It seems as if the filmmakers wanted to get the attack on Zion over and done with and offer an excuse for a pause in the action, so the Neo-Smith fight could be featured in full. However, it's not really a good idea to show the attack on Zion, then the Neo-Smith fight as if they're separate entities. Instead, we want to cut between them to give the audience a sense of these events happening concurrently, and that the outcome of one will have a dramatic effect on the outcome of the other.
What are they doing?
I don't know. Lieutenant?
We also want to hold on to the perception that Neo is fighting alongside the humans, because he is.
God damn it.
What do we do now, Commander?
Also, we intercut the attack on Zion with Neo's final fight with Smith to accomplish two goals. First, we show that the Architect isn't going to pause the war on Neo's word that he can beat Smith. Neo must first deliver the goods. Then there will be peace per Neo's request. What this change does is show us the Architect as an entity that doesn't trust humans, although he is willing to show a bit of trust once Neo has made a sacrifice that allows the Matrix to keep running, which strengthens Neo's sacrifice.
Machines will breach the walls of this city.
Second, by keeping the attack on Zion going while Neo fights Smith, we allow the tension to be carried through the Neo-Smith fight, which allows for the importance of that fight to be maintained from a human perspective, making sure that the stakes aren't forgotten as the fight goes on.
Or do you think that we have any chance of surviving?
If I were you, Counselor, I wouldn't ask me that question. I would ask him.
Why?
Because he's the one who believes in miracles.
Remember, one of the errors made in the editing of the Matrix sequels is that scenes tend to go on for too long, and this intercutting solves that major problem in this area of the film. In fact, with all these edits, plus some more needed trimming, the timeline for the two sequels merged into one film goes something like this. At 25 minutes, the Oracle gives Neo his mission. If Neo is to save Zion, Neo must find the Keymaker and return to the Source. At the 34-minute mark, Neo, Morpheus, and Trinity meet with the Merovingian. 40 minutes in, the fight for the Keymaker begins, with Neo going into only his second fight of the movie and the freeway chase ending at 57 minutes into the film. At 1 hour and 4 minutes is when Trinity enters the Matrix to help Neo. At the same time, Smith reveals himself to Neo, and the fight against multiple Smiths begins. At 1 hour and 21 minutes, the Nebuchadnezzar is destroyed as Neo discovers his ability to shut down the machines in the real world. 1 hour and 28 minutes in, Neo informs the ship's captains that he must go to the Machine City. Around the 1 hour and 44-minute mark, the Machine's assault on Zion begins. Around 1 hour and 54 minutes in, Neo and Trinity reach the Machine City. At 2 hours and 9 minutes into the film, Neo finds that Trinity is about to die. By the way, we place this moment so that it follows Link blowing the EMP, so that the fight with the machines is now stopped, for the moment, allowing the quiet that ends the previous scene to carry over to this scene. Anyway, at 2 hours and 14 minutes in, Neo comes face to face with the Architect in the real world and makes a deal that if he stops Smith's takeover of the Matrix, the machines must allow there to be peace with the humans. Around 2 hours and 18 minutes in, the final battle between Neo and Smith begins. So, with all that out of the way, the big question to ask is, how do we end the movie? Well, it's actually not that difficult. The wonderful thing about an ending like this is that it leaves the audience with something to think about. There's room for interpretation here as to what exactly happens to Neo and whether he can or will return in some way. That's all for now. Maybe next I'll do a few videos covering Zack Snyder's DC Extended Universe trilogy, or I'm thinking about doing a video on the opening scene of Star Wars The Phantom Menace. I always have to keep going back to Star Wars. You know that.